Well, hello there! Have you ever dreamed about what you would do if you were a creator on Hermitcraft? I have. I'm a huge fan, and if I was on Hermitcraft with all of my favorite creators, I would build huge bases like they do. Mega bases, giant GIGA bases. And today I will show you what could be my first base, just for fun. Stay tuned. Now that's a nice familiar face if you play Minecraft. And this Easter Island villager head, I have actually made a tutorial on it a while back, and it was inspired by, I think it was Exumavoid who made these in Hermitcraft season 5 or something, I think. Yeah, I'm a Hermitcraft fan too. And of course it's a server with a very high quality of content because they have some of the best survival builders. Hermits are professional Minecrafters, they're professional YouTubers, they play Minecraft 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, or maybe even more, so they can achieve big things. And that's not really possible for most of the rest of us because we have a job, at least I do. So I play Minecraft in my spare time. But we have creative mode. So today I want to bring this villager head to life, but in a scale that's 10 times bigger. If you have ever seen Guardian of the Galaxy, the first movie, you will perhaps remember when they visit the Collector. They kind of flew into some kind of celestial Eternals giant head. It was a dead god from way back when, and that's kind of the feel I would like to go for today. This is a slightly more worn down version of the same villager head. You can have them in different degrees of decay, and I have a video on how to make this. But today we're gonna scale this up and we're gonna flip it over and put it on the side. So this is this head but tilted over, so we need to make a huge building. A very long time later, and we have this giant box, and I haven't put a roof on it, but and that's the wandering trader, of course there is. And this is this is a basis for our on the side giant villager head. Oh my god, that is big. Maybe I slightly underestimated the task when I decided to make this 10 times bigger. I mean, this box alone in here, the nose, you could have a base in here, and you can most certainly have you can have a bat farm in here. Apparently, this this is the nose, and oh my god, he's still here. This is huge. I've made an attempt on the eye and the mouth, and the pure scale of this keeps throwing me off. If we took everything from down there and applied a 10 times scale, the eyes and the mouth would have to have been much deeper. That would, one block, it would be 10 blocks deep, but that wouldn't work. So I've had to, try my way. I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is 5. So it's half the depth of what it would be if we just, multiplied the blocks down there. And then I also made this just to make some added depth to it, so it's just not one big hole. And I mean, the further I get away, and I tilt my head while looking at, oh, interesting effect. I tilt my head looking at this, the more I think it looks like a villager. It's still a big box, a really big box, but it's got some shapes that it's beginning to look like a villager, I think. and probably there's not much more we can do. We can round up some of the edges, even though villages are blocky per definition, just like anything else in Minecraft. I think we can round these off a bit, maybe round the nose off a bit, but that's kind of part of the texturing, I think, and the ruining of the build. So that's probably what I will get started on now. So you can see this is what I meant with ruining it and making it look old and decayed. So I've started doing that, texturizing it along the way, making it collapse in places and rocks falling down. It gives the effect of something that's fairly crumbling, and just by doing that the nose gets a bit more definition in the face. And I actually also built on one more layer right here. I'm not done quite texturizing it, but it's when you're working with scaling up, it's not always just to, you know, multiply with 10 and then it's good. So you kind of have to use your judgment along the way, rounding it off as we go, and, you know, making it slightly more interesting to look at. And here I've actually opted for using quite a few of the mossy because it goes good with the green in the eyes. And then when it's crumbly, my default block is the andesite. I want to have this overgrown as this one down here. Maybe this will be too much and I will have to change it, but we will have to see. And I will bone meal this, remove the most flowery part of it, probably, and maybe put one here, see what happens. It spreads down like this as well. I like that. That is not half bad, but that was the most straight acacia tree I have ever seen in my entire Minecraft life. Why did it get so straight? So you can see something like that, a small tree growing on it, or a large tree, but that kind of gives you the idea of it being overgrown. And of course we want trees on top as well, and maybe even it may have to be a custom tree. But let's go over here on this, maybe down here, and just place dirt somewhere there, and maybe let's try with an acacia just for fun. Maybe it's too big, but I will leave it there for now, and then I will get back to whether I like it or not. I've started ruining the edge of the head up here and basically moving it back some blocks, and using moss and cobblestone, and sometimes I just move it back, and sometimes I leave small dripping overhangs like this. It's a huge job, and this kind of texturizing, I love it, but for me at least it takes a long time. Now I want to show you something else that I want to do with this to make it come alive. Over here I made the terrain and it has grown in, the grass is growing over. Of course we have to round out these corners. I've done something here, and up here I have rounded out this corner. I think I need some more dirt up here as well, and I started on this edge. So slowly it's getting more and more worn down by the weather. But as we have this up here, we want to do something else down here, and I was thinking, I have built up this and right now it's flat. You can see you can see the size comparison here. Right now it's totally flat, and maybe it needs to be one bigger, I'm not sure, but I want to mirror this and take this out of this as if this chunk here has been taken out of this corner. I think it's working now. I mean, We still have some straight lines in the head, but this corner, it looks like it's fallen out, and I've bone mealed, and I've used some moss, and I've used cobblestone to kind of emphasize the border, and your mind will connect this to this. And then I made some small boulders, some rocks, some pebbles, and you know, just around the place, so it will look, you know, pretty good from most sides. Maybe I need to work a little bit here, but that corner is definitely broken off. It looks fairly natural, and it helps to soften up the squareness of it all. And over here, if I haven't shown you, I've used some vines, and I will probably be using that as well to break up the enormity of some of these spaces. And I've worked a bit more with the corners down here, making it grindy, using that trick again with the corner that's dropped off. If we go down here, you can see it's fairly much fitting the chunk that's missing in there, and then started slowly on this side corroding it. Maybe I did something there as well, a little bit of stuff underneath here, and I went for and decided that I wanted to use deep slate and copper around here. And the reason is that this one lies in total darkness, so that you get kind of the same darkness effect on both sides of the mouth. And then reveal, I did this. We have this corner that's broken off and is right there, but I decided to have this corner having started to slide off. That's just the service entrance. Hang on. Maintenance. You can see there's a rift in it. And if we look at this from this side, you can see that it's out 1 block. And if we look at it from this side, you can see that it's out 2 blocks to the rest of the head. And if we look at it on top, you can see that it's lower. So this is slided slowly a big chunk of the head right there. You can see that there's a rift up there as well, and I want to make a cave in there. And right now I'm contemplating whether I should make a waterfall. You can see rainwater collecting, dribbling down through this stuff right here, and then collecting in a cave in here, and then running out as a waterfall here. I think that could be pretty cool. Okay, just a sit rep from here. You can see I planted some more trees up there as well, just to see how it would work. And another one trick trader. Then I've heightened this with 2 blocks just to make the depth here bigger. And I also, I mean, full dramatic effect, I actually put a block more on this, making the slit here smaller as well. I'm waiting for these to grow down, and over here I even put another block, just to get the point across that this one is sliding up. I didn't get to work on the waterfall yet. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do here. I think I want to move this a bit back, and then we have this entire space up here. I think I want a lake of some kind up here, and then I think I would like maybe like almost like a canyon carving through this. If you can imagine something going maybe like this down, but being getting wide out, so you can actually walk in here, and then that part of it will be, you know, there will be air in here, and it will be like a canyon where mobs could drop down if it was a real canyon. But that kind of feeling, just to make something happen here and on the side as well. And then over here cut off some of the take this back a bit like this. So that's probably the next thing I will do. Just to show you what I mean with the ravine, this is kind of the shape I want to go with at first. They need to build walls on both sides going inwards and outwards, and around here I want to have a lake, and this needs to be built up as well. So, well, I need to place a whole lot of blocks. Now this is what the raw ravine looks like. Raw ravine, it's difficult to say. And if we go down here, it's very ravine-like, and I have an idea where it should start off very low down here at ground level perhaps, and then slowly works its way up, so that when we get all the way to here, it should maybe be at this level. Really does look weird when you're building up caves from the inside. Weird. And look at these eyes. As you can see, I have built up a waterfall right here, and I kind of like it. It's, you know, asymmetrical, moving that way because we already had a lot going on here, and putting in some bone meal and some green down here. We of course need to texturize these walls even more. And then up here we have this cave where there's just water. And as we do another flyby, you can see that I have outlined the leg right here, and I've started putting in some dirt, and I have raised the terrain right here, and most importantly of all, I have started texturizing the canyon, so you can see it looks more like a natural, if you can say that, Minecraft canyon. And I have put in some stone that has fallen down, some boulders, and right here you can see that this is leading up to the end of the canyon right here. And maybe I need to do something with this as well, but it's just so much texturizing. But this is where it's at right now, and I will keep on chipping away at it. The one thing that I'm really concerned about, that I don't really have any ideas for right now, is this. You know what time it is when you resort to making huge custom pine trees. It's a sign of desperation. This, as I said, is a very big and very bland surface. So in order to break it up, and in order to also perhaps make it seem smaller on this side, even though we want this to be a huge big build, I decided to make a custom pine tree right there besides the entrance to the canyon. And yeah, that's my idea so far. At one point I swear I thought this was a big village ahead. As you can see, I'm using what is now known as the mumbo jumbo trick. That was how he worked on his mountain in Hermitcraft season 8, and it is fast. It's not perfect. It's definitely not perfect, but it is fast. Alright, I have been working with the back of the village ahead, and to be honest, I'm not really satisfied, but it's really difficult. And as you can see, I've built up like a dirt hill right here, put down some stones, made a rift in it with a tree in it. Maybe it's a bit too much. I've overhanging dirt, and now I'm gonna bring in the leaves. The leaves are the things that you always use to hide everything or make it more interesting. I'm a very sparse leaf user. I have many builds where I don't even want to touch leaves, but I think I need to have leaves on the edges here and someplace around here, just to break up this entire massive wall. So bring in the leaves. Lush cave, so to speak. That's the leafage, and you could do more, you can do less. I'm not a massive leaf spammer, as I said, but in these kinds of builds with this size, it's probably necessary. Now I still need to make that end, and then we are slowly closing in on having it finished. But what about the backside? What backside? This is a Hermitcraft build, they don't have backsides. Alright, I have done the backside, or well, the underside of the head as well, and the idea is that this guy has tilted over. Maybe he's been alive at some point, so he's dead, I don't know. Otherwise it's a statue that's tilted over, but you can see this is where it connected to the ground, so maybe the shoulders and the rest of the body is underneath the ground, and that allowed me to make some kind of pattern here that I cannot make on the other sides because a villager head looks like a villager head. So I made this heap of stuff that has been falling down, that has been connecting, and maybe some kind of spine thing that is connected to the ground. And then I made a lot of last minute changes. Of course, this will never ever be finished. Whether you're in creative or in survival, you can always do more. You can always give it more life, more detail. But let's go through it. This is the backside now, and I'm fairly happy with it now. This tree, of course, breaks everything up. It does it in scale, it does it in color, the dark green color, and I have stone that has fallen down. I have vines hanging down. I have a hole up there with a tree in it, and we have this small hill down here, which isn't actually that small, but it seems small compared to this big space. This was the real challenge, and let's face it, had this really been Hermitcraft, I wouldn't have built the backside at all. Now if we go in here in the canyon, I have done some more small stuff, so now you can actually walk in here. It's totally walkable all the way up here. It looks and feels kind of like a very narrow generic Minecraft canyon, and I really like it. I really like it, and this of course would lends itself very, very nicely to having doors inside, so you can get inside this if it was a base. And if we go up here on the top of the giant, you can see I decided to green up one side of it and have this one be more stone, and you have the small lake right here, and you have some special, you know, just bits and bobs all around, making it you know, have a life. And here I decided to go with dirt on the corner as well. I had dirt out there and put in some more greenery in this corner as well, just to break it up. I've been fairly liberal with the vines and leaves on this build now, and I love these hanging bits right here. And then you can see I've gone around and I've created a path all the way around this place, as if people are walking here today, and rocks that are falling down like this, not only the big ones in the corners and the rubble and stuff here, but you know, small pieces of rocks that have fallen off the nose of the wall. And to be honest, I'm quite satisfied. This took me in creative probably 35-40 hours. I'm a slow creative builder, and in survival this would take a long time. I mean, the resources alone, it's not that difficult. It's fairly accessible resources, but you would need a super smelter to have all the cobble that you oh, there you are. I looked all over for you. You're supposed to be standing up there. I wanted to have a screenshot with you in it. This of course is only the outside. Then there's the humongous task of doing the inside, actually making it into a base, and you could have several choices in there. You could go all organic as well, or you could make it ultra modern in there, like there's a new civilization hiding inside of the old civilization or whatever. But that has to be the subject for another video maybe, or your imagination, I suppose. Alright, dudes and dudesses, thank you for watching. As always, leave a like if you like the video. It helps me out much more than you think or know. And if you're brand new, subscribe, hit that belly button to get notifications. And if you have a dream of what you would like to build, if you are a hermit, let me know in the comments. I love to hear from you. And then I'll just be seeing you in the next one. Bye.